a dealer remains dealer, the round is not chained. So we are still in the first East round. East 1. To signify that, we will put 100 points piece as a counter. That is just an indicator. That is just to show we are in the first repetition of the first East round. The dealer has thrown the dice. Got a 4 here. And now every hand is worth 300 points more. And with every continuation like that, the value of the hand increases by another 300 points. And that can rack up real soon. Alright, let's take a look at our starting hand. I will still ignore this for now, until it becomes relevant. He's the dealer, he has the first discard, he discarded a West Wind. Now, it's fairly common to start by discarding winds and dragons. Well, usually just winds, because you can't neatly put them in sequences like the suit tiles. Let's take a look at our hand. We just picked up this 5. We also have 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, which is fantastic, for reasons I'll go into later. We have a 2 and a 4 in pins, or in circles. We have a 1 and a 9 in bamboo, which is kind of annoying because they're like so far away from each other, they don't connect to anything. And then we have 3 winds, 1 east and 2 south, and we have a red dragon. Now, it is unlikely that we will both get a triplet of east winds, a triplet of south winds, and the triplet of red dragons. So it is a good place to start would be over here. Since we are still south, because he is still east, we really want to hang on to that south pair. We don't so much care about the east and the red dragon. Now, my personal philosophy then is to discard the east first, because it is currently less likely that a pair of them exists. And we'll just see what happens with the rest. 1, another west wind, a pin 9, and we picked up a 2. Oh right, I wanted to get into this pattern. Now, somewhat annoyingly, you can see that this pair of 5s can be seen as a pair of 5, or it can be connected into 5, 6, 7. Same goes for the 8. You can see this as a pair of 8s, or you can connect it to 6, 7, 8. So if you discard either the 5 or the 8, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 will turn into 5, 6, 7 as a sequence, and 8, 8 as a pair, or 5, 5 as a pair, and 6, 7, 8 as a sequence. Of course, this early in the game, short-term Mirror of a Goldfish, sequence of... 1 second, I need to... Correct. Sequence of winds or sequence of dragons is not a thing. It's usually a tornado. Right, so we picked a 2. Not too great, but still, at the very beginning, usually you're trying to collect suit tiles. So you're trying to collect character tiles. Alright, character tiles is what they're usually called. That's why they're called cracks. Character tiles, circles, and bamboo. And you try to get rid of the honors, because it's less likely that you can actually combine them. So we'll get rid of the red dragon. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, now, remember how I said that you can also call triplets? Now, he called this triplet of white dragons. That means he called this white dragon as a pawn, as a triplet. That means he has a pair of red dragons, and he completes it to this triplet, right? So he now has a fixed triplet of red dragons, which is good for him, because a triplet of dragons, as we saw last time, is a winning condition. We pick up a 4. Right, that means it's his turn, because he technically picked up a piece, even if that was my piece, and so he discards again, which is pin 1. We pick up a man 4, a character 4, or cracks 4, and so now we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Sorry, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. That's interesting, because now we can combine this 4 and 5 into a sequence, have this 5, 6, 7 here, and this 8, 8 as a pair. So that's good. This 2 and 4 aren't really that helpful yet, but they're not as useless as this 1 and this 9 in bamboo. So we're going to discard the 1 in bamboo. Very interesting. He discards a white dragon, and he calls pawn, which is basically the same that he did with my red dragons. Also note that he turned this piece to my direction. That means that I'm the person who discarded this red dragon. That will be important later. Okay. He declared pawn, so he called a triplet of white dragons. That means that he has 2 white dragons, and my camera has turned itself off. So, this means he has 2 white dragons, and what he also sees is in the dead wall right here. We'll not get into details on why there is a dead wall here just now, but there is one unconcealed tile, one revealed tile in the dead wall, which is also a white dragon. So, he has to call this. He doesn't have to, but it's a complete waste if he doesn't call it right now. Because while there may be 4 pieces in total of every tile, all 4 he knows where they are. 2 are in his hand, 1 is here, and he discarded 1. And he knows that he can't get this one. So he calls this one for without even having to think about it. Whereas this person, when he called my red dragons, he might have let it go and hoped for the second one to pick it up himself. Right? If he picks it up himself, then he doesn't have to open his hand. Whereas now his hand is open and worth less. Okay. Again, we see... Oh, nice. Again, we see he points the one of the white dragons to that side, to the left, from our perspective, from his perspective to the right, to signify that this was discarded by this player. We have picked up another south wind, so now we have a triplet here. That's good. So we could... Let's, in theory, decompose this hand into valuable things. We have a triplet of south winds, which also is a winning condition, so that's great. We have a potential sequence 2, 3, 4 here. We have a pair 8, 8. We have a sequence 5, 6, 7. We have a potential sequence 4, 5. And we have a 2 here. The one thing that doesn't fit in it whatsoever is the bamboo 9. Now that is dangerous territory, that's a dangerous path I'm going on right now, but we're going to discard the 9 and see what happens. Ha! My nightmare has become reality. You see, we have picked up another character tile. Isn't that great? Let's quickly reconsider, decompose it into valuable sets again, right? We have this triplet of south winds. We have a triplet of 8s. We have 5, 6, 7. Great! Hey Ashnes, how you doing? We have this 4 and 5, and we have this 2 hanging around here. Now, wouldn't it be cool if we got rid of these 2 pin tiles as well? Because then we would only have one single suit. And that is big cash money. So, remember that discussion about winning conditions. And there's a long, long list of potential winning conditions that you can have or need to have. And you need to have one of them. But you can have multiple of them. And then it gets more valuable. So, let's be greedy. And let's think of the best case scenario, right? We have this 2, this 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. And we have this triplets of south winds. Greed always pays, definitely. Assume we do not get those 2. So we get rid of those 2. That means we have a so-called half flush. Also known as Honitsu. Now, a half flush on a closed hand is worth 2 multipliers. So not even do we start with like a base value of 1,000 points, but 2,000 points. This wind triplet is also worth 1 multiplier. So it's automatically kind of 4,000 points worth. If the hand remains closed, then a half flush is worth 3 multipliers. So that's a total of 4 multipliers. So the hand can get a value of, say, 8,000 points, which is pretty good. And for reasons that will become important later, maybe, that would be a so-called lower limit hand. So let's be greedy, and let's discard the 2 and the 4. Keeping in mind that the pattern we have here is 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. Now you will see a very annoying part about going into half flushes or even full flushes, where you also discard of all of your honors, is that it is really difficult to see what you can combine with what, because you're combining everything in the same suit. So let's see what happens. Pin 1. Throw it out. Ooh! Ooh, what weight is that? Oh, here we go. It's an absolute nightmare. Okay, so let's discuss this in theory. What we have... Okay. I'm gonna go here and just make this a lot bigger. And then... So, we have here a 2, a 4, a 5. We just picked up a 3. So let's put that in there somewhat. Oops. Another 5. A 6, a 7, and 3 8s. Right? Now, if we discard this 4, the game automatically tells us, because it's an online game, that we will be waiting. So we will be in Tenpai, we will be 1 away from victory. So let's see what can potentially complete our hand. The first obvious choice is a 5. Why? Because if we consider 2, 3, 4 a sequence, 8, 8, 8 a triplet, and 5, 6, 7 a sequence, then we have a singular 5 left, and so picking up another 5 will complete that to a pair. So we have a pair of 5s, a sequence 5, 6, 7, a triplet 8, 8, 8, and a sequence 2, 3, 4. Yes, I assume real in-person Mahjong, a more stoic poker face. Yes, but yes. But the thing is, you don't need to have a poker face if you're gonna declare Riichi anyway. Because if you're declaring Riichi, you're making public that you're not gonna change your hand and that you are officially waiting. And a little less discussion of your current hand. Exactly. Now, another way to see how 5 is a possible winning tile is that we have 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 8, a pair of 2 5s, and then what remains is 6 and 7, which can be extended with a 5 to 5, 6, 7. What we also see is that it can be extended to 6, 7, 8. Right? So we're definitely waiting on a 5 and a 7. Another thing we could do is we could wait for a 2. Now, why could we wait for a 2? Assume we get another 2 right here. Then we have 2, 2 as a pair. 3, 4, 5. Yes! Very good, Dave. 3, 4, 5. 5, 6, 7. 8, 8, 8. So indeed, a 2 is also winning tile. So we have at least a 3-sided weight of 2, 5, 8. Let me just quickly check if we're waiting on anything else. 1 does not work because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 does not work. 3 does not work. 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 5, no. 5 works. 6 is 6, 7, 8, 8, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, no. 6 does not work. 7 is 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 4, 5, 5, 6, no, does not work. And 9, 7, 8, 9, 8, 8, 4, 5, 5, 6 does not work. Right, so maybe it's psychological warfare at the Mahjong table. There is psychological warfare at the Mahjong table. So we have a 3-sided weight for a 2, a 5, and an 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to call Riichi, declare Riichi, and promise not to change our hand. Now, what that essentially means is, fuck you guys, I'm going to pick it myself. Because usually when you declare Riichi, not always, but usually, people will start playing safe. And because they don't want to deal into my hand, right? I have signified, hey, I have a strong hand. If you deal into my hand directly, you have to pay all of it. Whereas if I pick it myself, you only get to share the blame. So, if you want to declare Riichi, there is a bit of a risk combined with that, because people will try to avoid dealing tiles that are dangerous. And we will see what tiles are dangerous and what tiles aren't dangerous. But for now, we have a 3-sided weight, which means there's a lot of options still in the wall that we can pick that will complete our hand. Because let's at least count how many tiles are potentially our winning tiles. All the 2s that are in the game, all the 5s that are in the game, and all the 8s in the game. So that's potentially 12 tiles. Sadly, it's not 12, because we have a 2, we have 2 5s, and we have 3 8s. So 6 of those 12 are already out. Let's see, are there any other in the discard? Yes, this 2 is in here. So there's a total of 5 pieces still in the game that will make us win. I'd say that's decent. Let's give it a go. We declare Riichi, we sacrifice 1,000 points, and we throw away this 4. Oh! Oh! Oh boy! This is fucking expensive. Okay, so let's see what has happened. We have picked a 5. Now, how convenient is that? That's a winning tile. So we can declare Tsumo, which means we picked the tile ourselves and we have now won. Let us briefly go over how many points that are at least. I can guarantee that we do not need to care about the mini points anymore, because once you reach a lower limit hand, you don't, these become irrelevant. So, we have declared Riichi, which is a Yaku, a winning condition, and a multiplier of 1. We have a triplet of South Winds, which is our win, so another multiplier. We have a closed hand of a half flush, or Honitsu, which is 1, 2, 3 multipliers. We have picked up a winning tile on a closed hand, which is Tsumo, which is another multiplier, which is 7, which is 6. Also, in the first round after our Riichi declaration, so we won. So if we declare Riichi and this or this player discards, or we pick, we get another multiplier. Brings us to 7. So we have at least 7 multipliers in this hand, which makes it at least Haneman, which is the second lower limit hand, the second limit hand. Now, because we are in Riichi, there is one more thing that can happen, because there's one way to get multipliers without getting a winning condition. Usually all winning conditions are multipliers, but there is one multiplier that isn't a winning condition, and that is the so-called Dora, which is short for Doragon, for dragon. It's not actually a dragon, but that's what it's called. You see how there's this white dragon piece here? That is an indicator, the so-called Dora Indicator, for a piece that will double the value of your hand, with each of these pieces. Now the white dragon indicates the green dragon. So that means if someone wins with a green dragon in their hand, the value of their hand gets doubled. Now we don't have a green dragon, but we declared Riichi. And that means the tile below this also becomes a Dora Indicator. So let's go dig and find out. Dora... It's really dragging on. Tsumo. Let's find out what's underneath. Ah, dang it! Okay, that's the bamboo 3, so the bamboo 4 is a Dora. Okay, so let's recollect. We have a south wind, we have a Riichi, we have Ippatsu, meaning we immediately picked self-picked. We did self-picked Tsumo, and we have Hon Itsu, which I believe is 7. Yes, Haneman. Right. So, I mean, it's all clearly here, right? So, Riichi, which was this promising not to change your hand anymore. Ippatsu, which is in the first round after Riichi. Tsumo, self-draw on a closed hand. Honitsu, only one color. And Yakuhai, which is our own wind. 7 hands, 7 multipliers, and that's called Haneman. That's 3,000 points from the non-dealers and 6,000 points from the dealer. You see, the dealer always gets double, but he also pays double. So he loses 6,000 points, and they both lose 3,000 points. Plus 100. Because he was dealer twice, because of this dealer indicator, and therefore he pays 6,100, and they pay 3,100. Meaning a total of 12,300 points that we gained. So we have 37,300, 20,000, 20,000, 21,000. Fairly even. Well, those three are fairly even. Now, he was the dealer, he lost, or he didn't win, and therefore the dealer moves to the next person, which is me.